public health.
All right, y'all.
The group is pointing
Let's
to
go.
research indicating
You
that
can
you
see we can you can hear
So the AMA in
that you don't have to get out. It's chilly or snowy or it's raining or wet or too much for you to go outside. We can stay inside. We started at 6:08. You can see I'm on the pedal machine. Let's see how long I've been on there already. See, this will come around in a second. I've been watching the news and pedaling. 6:12 at the time. 9 minutes. Look like I've been on for 10 minutes already. And so I've gotten in 10 minutes of my ride while I was preparing to come on. Had to get the machine adjusted so it wouldn't be jumping around like it was the other day. And one thing about this one, you got to pedal easy. And if I lift up on, I have to pedal easy, and if I lift up on it, it'll pull the machine over because it's so light. And so yeah, we've been on for 10 minutes already. So I'm gonna ride a few minutes more, 10 minutes more on here. And you know, watching the news and talking about the attack on the Capitol and talking about tennis players that people who don't want to meet the appropriate vaccine requirements. I'm not sure where people have gotten all of their autonomy from and think that they can, this is America and they have a right, and we do have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But if it's interrupting the democratic process for everybody else, there's no one individual say we're going to operate this way except by the rules of the majority. Majority rules in democracy. And so if we rule and file and petition and bring forth a law, legislation, and we pass that legislation and it's approved and it's not overridden by the executive office, then we gotta, and the judiciary branch of it does not override the legislative branch on it in the Supreme Court, and we decide that that's how we're going to operate as a whole for our group. We got to operate like that. And if we don't want to operate like that, we can stay in our own residence, on our own property, and make it our own way there. But we can't go out in public when there's rules and laws, and the rule of law, and not the rule of man, and the rule of an individual for someone else. I face that every day. Someone want to take and have all their rules and all their functions the way they want to, but when you have rules and functions, they want to operate outside of that. I work in the public. I work in a public school. I work in serve on a exercise place that I can't legislate, or I can't administrate, and I can't even communicate about masks in my class. But I come in with one on. I wear 2 sets of clothes. I wear a glove. I suggest to them that that's a way to keep the contamination, off of every machine. You're going from machine to machine, after person to person, especially when we do circuit training. And we may wipe it off with something, but are we wiping off everything? You put on the gloves, and you got your gloves on, and you can wipe it and have your gloves on. And so if there's any contamination, it goes on the glove. And before it can get inside the glove on your hand, whatever it takes to make sure it works the way you need it to work. So, but yeah, listening to this after the fact of what someone should have done and could have done and would have done, we did those things in fire protection too. But we only did them to come up with a better way, to have a better attack plan for next time. And if that's not what we're doing it for, we didn't do it just to shine a light on the fact that someone might have, put too much water, might have put too much too soon, or, whatever. We're not trying to outline them or expose them for what they did wrong. We're trying to outline and expose the procedure as an improper procedure so nobody else won't be following that procedure. And we're talking about life and death every day. As a firefighter, I spent 25 years doing that. And so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. And so we brainstorm a lot of things. And every time we brainstorm something, we figure out, how's it going to affect life, limb, and property? How's it going to affect the financial, fiscal stability of our organization? And then who, what, when, where, how, and why. But we brainstormed everything. And then we went and did it with a pre-plan. And so we can get on that. I think it's just improper to run a business. And if people can still keep on hiring people that's doing something wrong, like they're hiring these Republicans to work for them, and none of them show up to a location to talk about an incident that occurred, I would be suspect if I hire somebody to work for me, and then there was a problem, and then when it come time to legislate, administrate, and orchestrate the fix for the problem, that the people I hired to represent me don't show up to have the conversation, yeah, they can't work for me. I had a person tell me the other day, "You always firing people." Yeah, I don't like nobody that much as that they not doing what I asked them to do or hired them to do or put them in position to do, and they're not doing it. I'm not fixing to follow behind them. I didn't do it in the military. I didn't do it once I learned how to be a leader, and I will never do it. If you don't want to do it how it's set up, go on. Let me get off of that. Anyway, yeah, this snowstorm passing through America is something else. So, but what I really want to share, we're on about 7 minutes. And so what we're going to do today, we're doing the inside pedaling because I don't want to walk out in the cold. It's a little bit chilly. I did some work outside, took the trash out, and organized, got my plants some water today and got them organized to keep them warm, and turned the little electric fireplace on out there with my plants that I brought inside. I got them covered up. They stayed covered up yesterday and today. And so I'll warm them up and keep them covered, and then we'll go there. Peter Bogdanovich, what did he do? I'm not sure. Let's see.
Dear friend and a champion of cinema, Peter Bogdanovich was 82. When we come back here tonight, you'll remember a story we did 1 year ago, The Letter and the Officer.
Yeah, another person passed away. We recognize every day that somebody's departing this earth back to eternity. Enjoy your life every day as much as you can. And it's what I try to do, to come on and provide some quality, because quality is so important to me. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. And so that's what I'm looking for. So yeah, we'll do some ab work. I don't know if I'm gonna set up my little machine, but I know I'm gonna sit on my little helper for my glutes, and we'll do a few abs on that. We'll do some oblique things. I'll use the band today, do some side obliques, and maybe use the band to do some pulls toward the abs. But I have an idea of what I'm going to do, but sometimes I leave it and let it hit me on the spot and let the time drive what we're going to do. But yeah. So I can tell my legs are getting stronger, even with just the little work I'm doing on this little wheel. I can tell there's a muscle group that's changing differently than they have been based on what I've been doing compared to what I'm doing now. So don't think just because it seems easy or looks easy, and it is easy, that the muscles are not modifying themselves according to the movements that we're making. You know, move our body, and when we move our body, our muscles will, in conjunction with that, modify according to the movements we're making to adhere to what we need to do to be strong enough or flexible enough or have energy enough to do it for the amount of time that we're doing. So yeah, I like it. I think what I'm doing is wonderful for you. I hope you do too. So you can see the movement. In fact, it's really almost perfect for the angle of attack, that is, or angle of approach and descent that I am doing with my legs. I'm only supposed to raise my knees to a 60-degree, maximum 60-degree height for movements because of the bone-to-bone and the missing medial meniscus on this side, on the right side. I'm only supposed to move my legs in a circular motion like that, or even in a walking motion at 60 degrees or lower. And so it changes everything, you know. So we got hip flexors that, you know, remember that song, ankle bone connected to the knee bone connected to the hip bone connected to the backbone, and the backbone connected to the neck bone, and that's the way it is. And we move it around. So all that stuff still gets some work. I'm not moving my arms as much, but I can. I'll turn them around and just show that. Turn around. Whoop. There it is. Let me see. So I didn't put it on the thing today. So in fact, I could do my arms like this. Got my old 1980s TCJC. My college was a junior college some years ago, but now it became a community college and just become Tarrant County College or county college. Probably funds driven, but that's all right. But here you can take your arms and move them in conjunction with your leg. And I can switch it over. Sorry about that. Switch it over to the other hand, and it moves in conjunction with the opposite hand, right and left, or left and right. And so 608, 620. It's been about 12 minutes. We got about 8 more minutes to go. I think what I want to do is put it on the thing and then move my arms some as well. I'll do that. And so we just watched the national news. And so we can multitask. I watch the national news, and if I wasn't on with you, I'd turn it on and listen to it. But I'd rather talk with you and talk through the video without trying to talk over. Now it's back time for the local news. I'm behind on the few minutes. Well, I can run it forward and get ready for Wheel of Fortune. You can sit up and do that. You can make them long. And I can make it a little stronger. And slow it down. How cold is it to you? I think temperature is around 32 to 36 right now. It's a little chilly outside, like I said, but it's winter time. What do we expect? I don't know, but I expect it to be cold in the winter. Yeah, it's easy to move. 28 right now. It's 28 degrees around here. So yeah, it's cold out here. But that's how winter is. Keep it moving. Gotta stay in sync. You know, some people do same arm, same leg. I don't know how they do that, but I've never, when I look at it, I've never been able to see how to do that. So they got a warming shelter for the homeless people out there, and the people that find themselves in transition. That's really good. People who are down on their plan is inactivated in a way that's not functional right now. All right, come on in, come on in. I'll wave at you. Like I said, I've since stopped calling name, but I'll wave at you. Come on in. I hope you're doing the exercise with me. You know, it's okay to watch, but this is to get any benefits out of this, this is a participative endeavor. I've never been really one of those people who like to watch only stuff. I like to watch and I like to do. And mostly do. If I can't do it, that's not really something I go to all the time. You know, I can't play football anymore. I don't, because I don't want to get broken up and beat up. But when I was young enough to play, I played as well as watched. You know, you can take your arms up and down if you want, or I like to take them in a cyclic motion to simulate, help do the shoulders. You know, you can even do, while you're doing it, you can take the shoulders in this motion. Let's do a 10, 20, 19, 18, the seat slide, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, sit up tall, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And so as I share with you all, I'm going after my core from here to here. You know, I'm not satisfied with the looseness of my chest on the side and under my arms. You know, the fat trying to spread and go to the places I don't work, so I'm gonna work that some more. My chest is still don't have as much fat on the top as it does in the middle and below. So I'm going after that fat, and you know, my arms stay, my arms stay pretty good. I don't lose too much, and I don't gain a whole bunch of flab. I don't get a whole bunch of skin or muscle atrophy. And my legs stay pretty tight as I walk and move around and flex them and stretch them, so they stay pretty good. But my core area tends to hold a lot of my weight, and that's not a good thing for the heart, the lungs, the liver, the stomach. You know, that's not a good place to hold a lot of fat, but mine does. We get overwhelmed. And so, if you believe some of the research, they're saying that people who have some obesity are going to have some increased morbidities and mortalities when it comes to this COVID thing. We're overweight, and it can cause us some extra problems. I had a little scratchy throat yesterday. I went to a meeting on Tuesday, and I felt a little different after I came from that meeting, even though I wore a mask 90% of the time I was there. For a couple of hours, I was there from probably 11 to almost 2, almost 3 hours, and in and out and around the building, but I wore my mask, but I still felt a little